We're gonna watch the movie, and I still hope we have enough time. Sorry, I was late. I'm gonna speed up in the beginning. We're gonna talk real fast about kino in Ukraine. So the topic is kino Ukraina, which means movies Ukraine. And we're gonna watch one kino, which is like one of my favorites, but unfortunately the humor is gonna escape a bit, because when you translate to English, you cannot really show all those plays, like all those word plays, and that's what this movie is about. But anyways, that's the name of the movie. Could you read, please? It's gonna be Oh, that's good. Oh, sorry. Actually, it's the Russian name. I will explain maybe later why is it in Russian. In Ukrainian, it's going to be like that. За двома. Good job. And this is зайцями. So maybe once again, за двома зайцями. Sorry. Okay. So this is Ukrainian, and the one you see over here is Russian. So pretty much it means like chasing two hares, pretty much like sitting on two chairs. So if you run after two hares, you do not get anything. That's the same in Ukrainian. I'm not sure if they say it in English, but the one I know in English is like you cannot sit on both chairs. So that's what the name of this movie and book is. And actually, the movie is based on one of the famous Ukrainian books called, again, Chasing Two Hares, written by Mikhailo Staritsky in 1883. And his main talent was to create lots of word plays. So when you read that, it's all about kind of changing the words and making them fun. So maybe when we're gonna watch it, you will read the subtitles, and maybe sometimes I will stop and try to explain what's going on. And also, let's see what the setting of this movie is going to be. So the movie is going to happen in Kiev. And Kiev is quite an interesting city to visit. So actually it's built on 7 hills. Kiev is built on 7 hills. So when you walk in Kiev, you're gonna go like up and down, just like San Francisco maybe. And there is something about Kiev. We have an upper city and we have a lower city. That's how we call them. So here we have upper city, lower city, and and they are actually connected by either a street, or we also have like the cable car to connect them. And the name of that street that connects to parts of Kiev is Sgdhxgxv, and Descent is pretty much like the street that goes down. A very famous, beautiful street, and I'm going to show a bit. So when we talk about the upper Kiev, it's mostly like post-Soviet and revolution buildings. So it's kind of a bit more modern, I would say. The Maidan Square is there. Lots of people live in that area as well. And maybe just to give like a general view of the upper Kiev. So you might have seen this place before. It's the Maidan Square where all the revolutions happened. So that's the square itself. It's considered to be the city center. Over here we have a big shopping mall. It's under the square actually. And this square unfortunately got destroyed so many times. Oh, these guys are, remember, it's Sgdhxgxv. So people in Ukraine believe that they created Kiev. So you can see that in quite many places. So the city center, that's the hotel, and it's the shopping mall again. It's the same for the heroes that passed away in the war. And these are just like residential buildings all around. They're gonna fly to, oh, this is quite a nice area, maybe like 20 minutes away from the square you've just seen. So over here we have all the clubs and museums, this building. So when you go in, it's like a party place, like She 82 for fun, but Ukrainian way. And this is the market. Just the street. And then they would fly that European square. So that's like a general view of Kiev, I would say. It's a very green city as well. And this guy is Prince Volodymyr, the one who turns the whole country into Christians. Remember, so the story was he sent everyone to this river and he baptized everyone. So that's why he's standing here. He's kind of watching his people in the past. We learned that during the first semester, so sorry, I don't think we have time for more details. But anyways, that's the upper Kiev. Very green, lots of party places as well. And let's move to lower Kiev. So lower Kiev is the one that's over here. Sorry, W. And it's also called Podil. In the past, it was actually not a developed area, and lots of poor people lived there. So in the movie, it was still the poor times. But now it was reconstructed, and we believe that now it's one of the prettiest parts of the city. So that's the lower Kiev. There are quite a few universities here as well. I think this one is one of them. I don't quite remember. But there is a lot to do. Like there are lots of restaurants here. You can take the walks, and this is one of the biggest churches in that area. Quite green again. I'm not sure if you can tell, but this area has like more of those like older buildings that were built before the Soviet Union came. So we like this area more because for Ukrainians, I guess in general, Soviet Union era is not what we like to remember. It's quite pretty here. It's a nice walk, and then you can always cross this bridge. And over here we have the beach in Kiev, so you can go and sunbath. Some people even swim there, but maybe I don't recommend. There is some bacteria in the river, but it's a nice place to walk around. And then, as I promised, those two parts are connected by the street, and it's called the Sgdhxgxv. And actually, you can see it here. So that's the street itself. And I actually prepared. I'm gonna show you a video with that street. And to be honest, it's one of my favorite streets in Kiev. It's a very cute street. It's very historical. I chose this video to show. So it's just like very ancient too. You can see from these tiles, it's from like 18th century. And you just walk around and every building has history. So in every building there was at least some writer or poet who lived before. So now they turn them into museums. And you keep walking like that, and usually they have lots of stands with hand-making stuff, and like some artists, and there is a church, and there is always something to look at, and lots of restaurants too. I really like the street, so if you have a chance, please do come to this Angri's Descent. It's very, very pretty. And maybe the video doesn't show the whole justice, but it's a very, very nice walk. And actually this movie, the one we're going to watch now, is happening on that street over here, so you can see the church in that movie too. And it's happening somewhere around here, the lower city. And the main two characters are going to be these two guys. We got Tonya, the girl, and we have this guy. So his name is actually Sgdhxgxv. And it sounds like, sorry, his name is Sgdhxgxv. It's a Ukrainian name. But he always introduces himself as Sgdhxgxv. And it's an example of the wordplay that the author uses, because this surname that ends with "y" sounds like a very Ukrainian surname, because Ukrainian surnames usually end with "y". And the thing here, if you translate it, it means poor man, like man with nothing. But he introduces himself as Sgdhxgxgxv, and immediately it sounds like a Russian name. But at the same time, now it doesn't mean poor man, it means like lying about yourself. So it's kind of an interesting like wordplay, because just two letters changing has changed the whole meaning. And that's what the author and the movie is about. They just change a bit, and it always use some wordplay. And why did he change his surname? Just like a very short history. It was the period of Russification of Ukraine. So he just wanted to sound like he came from Russian Empire and he's above everyone in Ukraine, because back then they created this scenario where Russian was the cool language, and they would send politicians who speak Russian because it was a greater country, and everything Ukrainian was kind of like going down. People didn't choose to speak Ukrainian, because if you speak Ukrainian you sound like a villager and you don't want that. So it was just the time back then. Back then we also had people who would support this regime. We would call them Russophiles. Phil is pretty much like you love it, so those who like the Russian regime. And this guy was one of them. And then we have Russophobes, those who were fighting the regime. And mostly those are people from the Western Ukraine. And that's also the people that Russia would call Nazis these days, just because they're against like this imposed Russian regime. And the main thing they try to do is suppressing the Ukrainian language, Ukrainian literature, Ukrainian politicians, and they were just pretty much trying to say that Ukraine was never a country and everything should be Russian. So this movie kind of shows this dilemma, and we're gonna watch it. So that's the link, and let's just try to watch it, because I remember last year I had to pay for this movie, but this year they made it free, which is a bit suspicious. So I'm afraid they might stop it at some point and just ask for money, and then I'm gonna pay, okay? Just, let's see. I kind of tried it in the morning, it worked.